Pandemic isolation increased our addiction to the internet and social media. People found they spent even more time online.
Just being swept down this tunnel? Yeah.
A new study in the Journal of Social and Clinical Psychology found a link between the use of social media and depression and loneliness,
With links to anxiety and depression.
While there's mounting mental health concerns, my biggest concern with social media was wasting time. Let me ask you this. If you could take 4 months off a year to do whatever you wanted, what would you do? Where would you go? Would you decide to spend those 4 months on your phone? A recent study found that's what a lot of us are already doing. We spend an average of nearly 5 hours a day on our phones. That's nearly a third of your single waking day, and half of that time is spent on social media. If you take 1 week, you're spending 2 whole days of your waking hours on your phone. In a month, that adds up to 9 days. In 1 year, we're spending the equivalent of almost 4 months of our waking hours on our phone. So let me ask you again, if you could take 4 months off, would you intentionally spend that time on your phone? I didn't think so, but it's highly likely you're already doing it. So for this reason, I went on a 21-day social media fast. See, I wanted to know, how would my life change if I quit social media for 21 days? Would I be more productive? Would I be more focused? How would it affect my general well-being? And what would I do with the extra time? So I quit social media for 21 days to find out. But I was also curious to see if anything changed when I went back on social media. Did the 21-day detox help me get a grip? Did I fall back into bad habits? So I check in 5 months later to share the results. To prepare myself, I deleted social media apps from my phone. I logged out of social media on my desktop, deleted the history, changed the passwords. Basically, I made it as difficult as possible to access social media. Day 1, I felt restless. After finishing a task, usually I'd open Twitter, Instagram or Facebook and scroll for a while. But I sat fidgeting. But then I thought, well, let me just do another thing on my to-do list. By early evening, I experienced occasional niggles that I might be missing out on something on Facebook or Instagram. But then I let it go and continued with my evening because I eliminated the option of checking social media. Each scroll is like wasting away your life. That narrator in my head that take a picture of the book and post it on Instagram so people know how superior you are because you read books. By day 4, it stopped. Because I wasn't thinking about sharing anything. I wasn't going out and about thinking, take a picture and put it on social media and then start thinking of the caption I would put underneath it. And it felt like this white noise that's constantly buzzing in your mind suddenly stopped. The hardest part was wondering what if. What if there's a message waiting for me, or what if there's an audition opportunity that's popped up on social media that I need to respond or reply to. So why might you quit social media? Here are 3 pretty good reasons. It makes you miserable and unhappy with your life because you compare your life to an image that other people want you to see. It's designed to be addictive. It's a time killer that's distracting you from doing the things that really matter to you. Spending time with your loved ones, or making real friends in the real world, or creating your life's work. My negative side effects of using social media was comparison and wasting time. I was occasionally concerned with missing out on things too. Usually I read over 40 books a year, but last year, I'm embarrassed to say, I actually stopped counting. So whether you want to read more, you want to start a side hustle, often a big excuse stopping us is I don't have enough time. So the question I have for you is time the issue? Or where you choose to focus your time. When you are clear on your vision, goals, values, and what really matters to you, then you can examine yourself and think, right, where am I spending my time? Does it align with my vision, my values, and my goals? If it doesn't, we can change it. So if you're feeling dissatisfied with your life, what if eliminating doing the things that bring you down leaves you space to focus on people, activities that lift you up, that nourish you, that challenge you? With the extra hours I gained, I was finally able to get back into reading. I read 5 books last month. I've been less distracted, I've been more focused, which meant I got through tasks faster. I could stop working earlier and therefore spend time with my loved ones. So what's the lesson in all of this? For me, success isn't really about being more productive and efficient. It's about being fully in this moment. Experiencing the beauty of life fills me with nourishing memories. See, when you're on social media, there's this constant underlying temptation, wanting to capture moments instead of living in the moment. Close your eyes for a moment. Imagine you're living your twilight years. You're 90 and you look back on your life. Are you looking back on fond memories you wish to revisit? That road trip you took with a loved one, those weekend lunches with friends, aimless strolls through cities, learning new skills, meeting new people, a life well lived? Or will your memories be full of you scrolling through your phone? Being on your phone is stopping you from living your life. There's this quality of mind you experience when you eliminate social media from your life, and you don't feel it until you experience it. And during my runs, I was no longer thinking about status updates. Instead, I listened to the waves lap against the shore, hearing my feet as I pad on the floor. You know, if you have an iPhone and there are apps running in the background, it slows down your phone. You know that, right? Before I quit social media, my mind constantly felt like there were apps running in the background. When you eliminate all those apps, it enables your phone to run smoother and faster and more efficiently. Same with your mind. It just allows you to think with clarity. We care so much about our phones. What if we gave our mindset the same amount of attention and care? Imagine how much richer your life would feel. Now that the 21 days is over, I'm reluctant to get back on social media because I've been enjoying the peace and productivity in the absence of it. You know, the best and brightest minds, they've devoted their expertise into making these as addictive as possible. So at this point, I'm honestly reluctant to even taste it again because I'm worried it's going to suck me back in. Imagine a drug addict. They've just come out of rehab. Are they realistically going to take just a little bit of heroin? Don't worry, I'll be fine. Would anyone advise them to do that? No! To be frank, the only reason I want to check is this fear of missing out. But once I logged back on, I realised I wasn't missing anything. Back on social media, I'm not on Facebook much. I check in every 2 or 3 days for about 30 seconds. Twitter, I log on to maybe once every 2 weeks for literally 1 minute. I only do it to see if I've got any messages. It was my top source of stress and distraction. And luckily, I have avoided getting sucked into it. The only way I can log into it is on my desktop, and I've got to go and find the password because I don't know it off by heart. I still maintain that friction, so it's very difficult to get on. Instagram, that's another story. The first few days was fine. I didn't feel that pull to log on. I intentionally logged on, thinking, I can control this. This is easy. But the more times I logged on, the more times I posted. I wanted to be on there. That feeling returned. Then the chatter began. The status updates that you keep dictating and narrating to yourself. I'd be at lunch with a friend, take a photograph. As soon as lunch was over, my mind would start thinking, what status update shall I write with this picture? Imagining other potential pictures or status updates. So then the restlessness and the distraction, I couldn't focus. I only read one book in February. And then I had a wobbly day where I fell down the comparison trap, compared myself to someone else, sad and distressed all day. Fortunately, I pulled myself out of that slump the following day. It's challenging when you're a solo creator. You need to self-promote, and I'm struggling to kind of find that balance, to be honest. But now it is abundantly clear to me, with finite time but infinite ambition, being on social media means one thing, that I'm missing out on living up to my full potential. So I've introduced this new rule. I can only check Instagram once a week, on Fridays for 10 minutes. Oh, watch this video next where I meditated for 1 hour a day for 21 days. See how it changed my life. Thanks for watching.